Okay, I'm back. Uh, it is cold out here today. It was this warm a couple of days ago. Now it's cold. Uh, so I'm back again. I started in a better spot, man. So let me get to the topic because I know I'm just waffling on, as they say in the UK, right? Competing with other men, bro. We were born to compete. You know, we were born to compete with other men, bro. You gotta, you know, that's why it's good, like, competing with other men. And by competing, you know, you're going after the bag, basically, you know, so you can compete with other men because a broke man cannot compete with other men, bro. If you're broke, you're gonna get scraps or you're gonna get nothing at all, man. You feel what I'm saying? You know, competing with other men means that you got a full bank account. Your bank account is sitting on swole. You know what I'm saying? Competing with other men means that you got a goal in life or you're chasing your dreams, you're chasing the bag. Because once you get the other bread, once you get the money, you can compete with any man out here, bro. Like if I hit a jackpot on some million shit, on some millions, I can compete with any other man out here, bro. And I would have no problem getting the type of female that I like. You feel what I'm saying? I can compete with any man out here. Once I get the bag, they can't stop me. If I want this girl over here, I'll take it. If I want that girl over there, I take it. Simple as that. But we out here, we competing with other men. You better get on the bandwagon and chase this bag every single day. So you can't compete. Feel what I'm saying? And competition is fierce, bro. But I told you, your persistence and your dedication will bring them odds down. It'll be no longer fierce. It'll be weak like a kitten. You feel what I'm saying? You can compete, and more compete, but meaning you gotta get out there and do the best that you can when you're chasing the bag. You know, if you want to become a rap star, you gotta get out there and compete with other rappers. If you want to become a movie star, you gotta get out there and compete with other movie stars. But your practice, bro, your practice, your dedication, you know, like I said, them odds start coming down after a while, bro. You know, yeah, the odds are stacked high, but your persistence is what's gonna bring them odds down. And then they'll be mad. They'll be like, God damn, he done became a millionaire. Now we gotta compete with him. Now, shit. That's why they jacking the price up on everything, and you know, that's why they out here, you know, making everything super high and bring the cost of living up because they don't want, like, They don't want you to become a millionaire. They want you to stay a worker. They want you to stay, down on the ground. You notice the wealth gap is getting wider and wider. And to keep you from becoming a millionaire, so they won't have no more competition, is they gotta bring the price up on everything so you cannot save money and become a millionaire like them. They want to run and control everything. They don't want a whole lot of competition at the top. They want to stay at the top, and they want the poor to stay poor. You notice it's hard to save anything out here in California. That's why you got to be really smart. You outsmart the competition, you win the game. You outsmart other men, you win the game. And ain't nothing they can do about it either. Feel what I'm saying? In the end, I get the girl. You feel me? And that burns your fucking competition chest, man. You feel me? That burns their chest like some Coca-Cola. Like you drink Coca-Cola and that burns your chest. It burns your throat. That's how it is, bro. Men are competing with other men, bro, when they buy nice high-end vehicles, when they buy Porsches, they're competing. When they buying Lamborghinis, they're competing, bro. Making sure their genetics will carry on, man. So they could get the woman. You feel what I'm saying? And you get scraps. See, a motherfucker who don't compete, he gonna get scraps, man. Why do you think these scrap women are approaching me all the time? You feel what I'm saying? And the dude if he don't win, he gonna get scraps or he ain't gonna get nothing. Nothing at all. I don't know which one is worse. Nothing or scraps. You know what I'm saying? Nothing or scraps. Somebody says something is better than nothing. Yeah, to a certain degree. But I don't want to stay with the scraps for the rest of my life. That's why I'm on this bag chase, man. Every single day to compete with other men. When you're working out, you're competing with other men, bro. You're getting your body in shape and shit like that. You're competing so I can have an edge. We just don't work out just for no goddamn reason. Or we don't work out just for our health. We work out to impress other women and to compete with other men. I mean, what did I say? I just woke up. Sorry, my words are all over the place. Sorry. We work out so we can compete with other men and impress women. When you're buff, when you're in shape, you're competing. You get an edge over other men, bro. When you got your money on point, you can compete with other men. Until your bread is on point, bro, you can't compete with other men. Why you think I've been struggling for the last 8 years? Been struggling. Because the money ain't right, bro. The money gotta be right. Especially if you're a guy that's average. You're an average man. Your money gotta be on point out here, bro. The competition is fierce. Competition is fierce, bro. But I told you, man, day by day, your persistence will bring the odds down. After a while, bro, persistence will bring the odds down. You know what I'm saying? It's like becoming a basketball player or a football player or whatever pro athlete you want to become when you're young. Being out there on that field, yeah, the odds are stacked at first, but your practice, it's going to bring them odds down, bro. It's like this. when you're first playing basketball as a small kid, you know, making them hoops, making them shots is gonna be hard at first. You know what I'm saying? But with practice, you know, them odds start coming down with them basketball shots, bro. with the when you shooting hoop and you're garbage at first, right? You're garbage at first, but with practice, you're gonna get better at it, and better and better and better. It's like me in martial arts, bro. When I first started at 15 years old, man, them odds were stacked, man. I couldn't kick very well. You know what I'm saying? I had sloppy kicks, sloppy technique. You feel what I'm saying? But as the years went by, man, I started getting better and better and better and better and better until I was impressing people with my kicks, man. I still impress people with my kicks nowadays, bro. I told you I'm the karate kid up out here in these streets. I'm the black karate kid. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be my next name from when I start a channel with Rumble or whatever. It's gonna be called the Black Karate Kid. Yeah. You know, that's what I'm saying, bro. You know, hard work, dedication, it brings it brings it down, man. You know, it brings them odds down, and you can compete with other men on every single level up out here, bro. But in order to obtain resources, man, and wealth, man, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort of doing it every single day, month by month, year by year. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, whatever you're doing, bro, you're gonna get better at it, and you'll be able to compete with other men on every single level up out here. Feel what I'm saying? You know, you get your bread right, you get a lot of money in the bank, right? Then when you step out on the scene, these females, they're gonna have a hard time resisting your aura. They're gonna have a hard time resisting your bag aura. You know, you feel what I'm saying? And then you'll be able to pass on your genetics with ease, man. Like I said, I don't want to struggle out here, bro. That's why we get competitive, because nobody wants to struggle, man. Nobody wants to be broke. We got to work out today, bro. I gained some weight. We got to work out. We got to work out, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, when you just remember, bro, when you out there buying the Lamborghini, when you out there buying the BMW series, you know, you're competing, bro. You feel what I'm saying? You're competing. When you out there buying the Audi R8, when you out there buying the high-end Challenger, you know, worth $80,000 or 90 grand, almost 100 grand, you're competing. You feel what I'm saying? So you gotta understand, man, that this is a competition amongst men, bro. And if you don't get your money right, if you don't get your bread right, you're not gonna be able to compete. You're gonna have a bad life. You feel what I'm saying? You're gonna have a bad life out here, bro. Come on, bro. You good, man? You good? Sorry. All right.
All right, man.
You know what I'm saying? So, day by day, piece by piece, man, you put the puzzle together. You know, slowly but surely, then you got a picture. You feel what I'm saying? Ain't nothing coming easy, man. You think that they would just make it easy for you to gain wealth so they could compete with you? You know, that's why, you know, they don't want families in the household in the black community. Can it be, you become more of a force to be reckoned with if you got a father in the household, man. You know what I'm saying? If you got a father in the household, man, that's more competition for them to deal with. Oh, here come the brother with the car, man. That's the AMG series. That's a beautiful car, man. What's up with it, man? Good. That's a lot of motivation for you right there, man. A lot of motivation. It's an older model, but it's still nice. Yeah, that's an AMG class right there. AMG. See, he competing, bro. He know what time it is, bro. When you get stuff like that, bro, you are a fierce competition. You are fierce competition. You know what I'm saying? And when you going after the bag like that, bro, you gotta be ruthless. I'm telling you, bro. You gotta be ruthless, and you gotta be made of something, man. You gotta be made of steel, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's clean. What's up with it, 7? Yeah, that's a cool car, man. Feel what I'm saying? Yeah, I ain't gonna have no food right now, man. We're gonna fast today. I need to lose some of the weight that I gained when I was injured. So we're gonna drop a few pounds. We're gonna fast. Still good looking even though I put on some weight. You know what I'm saying? After all these years, still good looking. But like I said, bro, you got to turn to a competing machine out here, man. It's rough. Men are competing with each other, man. Like I said in the title, bro, like men are competing. They compete. And, as a young child, you have to know that, man. You have to know that practice make perfect. You know that saying, right? What's up with it, 7? I'm good, man. I'm good. Practice make perfect. They don't say that for no fucking goddamn reason, bro. You know what I'm saying? Persistence is the key. Persistence is the key, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that will bring the odds down. Nothing else. And I show back up in my clean ass whip in my Mercedes Benz that's high end, like the AMG over here, or I pull up in my Porsche. I'm competing, bro. I'm on a motherfucking road, Jack. I got my foot in the game. You feel what I'm saying? And then I become this unstoppable force that a lot of men can't fuck with. I become a force to be reckoned with. That's what they say, right? But as long as I'm broke and dusty, man, I can't compete. We always trying to outshine each other, man, as men, bro. We spend our whole entire lives trying to outdo each other. Who got the biggest yacht? Who got the biggest house? Who got the biggest, nicest high-end car? Oh yeah, motherfucker. You know what? Look what I got. Pull out the Porsche. He be like, oh yeah, motherfucker. Look what I got. He pull out the Mercedes-Benz AMG that we just saw. Oh man, that nigga fucking me up. Man, I gotta get that Lambo. I'm gonna get me a Lambo. I'm gonna beat him. And then a couple of years later, you pull out the Lambo. You pull out the Lambo. Oh, nigga, look what I got now. Oh, see, he be like, oh man, damn, he done got the Lamborghini. Oh, look at my he making my AMG look like a Prius, man. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna fuck him up. Watch. I'm gonna go get the McLaren. That's more than the Lamborghini. Come back with a McLaren that's worth 700 grand, and he'd be like, "Damn, he got the McLaren. Oh, he make my Lambo look like a Gart kart. I got a oh, like a go kart. What they say, right? He make my Lamborghini look like a go kart. Oh, I'm gonna get something better than that McLaren." And then you pull out the Bugatti, $1 million car, and then he'll be like, "Damn, that nigga done brought the loot. Man, he making my McLaren look like a shopping cart." See, that's how I'm saying. That's how men are, bro. We always trying to outdo each other, bro. You know what I'm saying? Competition amongst men is fierce. You know, like I said, bro, I believe that as long as you keep on and you keep on, them odds, they'll start to come down after a while. You feel what I'm saying? Them odds are, they'll start to come down. Whatever you doing, bro, you could bring the odds down. Because believe me, like I said, man, the odds are stacked. And I don't give a damn if the odds are stacked. I seen other people beat them. I seen other men beat the odds. Okay, if they could beat the odds, I could beat the odds too. What's up with it? What's up with it, Jamie? Jamie in the house. What's up with it? You know, if they could beat the odds, I could beat the odds too. But you got to be driven though, bro. You feel what I'm saying? You got to be driven. And try to out-top other men, man. And you know what? Other men, you know, that are competitors, man, they love to see you struggle, man. You know what I'm saying? Your top competitors, they love to see you down and out. You know, the haters, they love to see you down. You know, but as long as you're persistent, you know, the cream will rise to the top. As long as you're persistent and stay on your shit and on your grind, the cream will rise to the top. Trust me when I say this, bro. I told you, I got martial arts training, bro. I went from, like, not being able to kick very well to kicking very well and to kicking perfect, almost. You know what I'm saying? When I was in Capoeira and stuff. So when I go back to my martial arts days where I was training, I think back. It's kind of like, remember the movie Kickboxer with Jean-Claude Van Damme? Okay, remember he was getting beat in the ring by Bolo, and I guess he got blinded by a cheating, dirty Bolo. Bolo took something from his belt and threw something into his eyes where he couldn't see, and then he was freaking out for a minute. But then he started remembering his training that he had, the blindfold training that his instructor had him do. So then he started doing, like, he started remembering what he started remembering what he was taught to do when he's blind. He can't see anything. You see what I'm saying? So then he started doing better. You see what I'm saying? So it's like me, like when I think back to my martial arts days, I remember, and there was competitors and everything in Capoeira when I was training and shit, right? But the person who did the most and the person who trained the most was going to be the guy who's going to be shining in the holder. The holder is called the circle, right? So the guy who did the most, like running, squats, weights, on the outside of the circle, you know, and when he put his all into it and he trained the most, it's gonna show in the Capoeira holder how agile and how flexible you are and how light on your feet you are. You see, in Capoeira, if you ain't If you ain't training, you're gonna be very heavy in the foot. You're gonna be tired. You're gonna get tired easily. Your kicks ain't gonna be as flexible. You know, you're gonna have a bunch of low to the ground kicks. You see what I'm saying? You ain't been focusing on your flexibility. So if you've been like not training hard, it's gonna show. It's gonna show. Meaning your ass ain't been training. Your kicks look like shit, and your kicks are slow as hell. You know what I'm saying? But if you've been training, your kick's gonna be swift kick, swift and fast. You're gonna be out there beasting. You're gonna be doing a lot of like getting behind motherfuckers and stuff like that, and showing hella technique and all that other stuff. Showing speed. Okay, you look strong when you kick, right? It look like you've been training. But if nigga ain't been training, man, and then see, the thing is, your competition start catching up with you. The new dudes that just come in, you know, after a few years, they're gonna start catching up to you because you ain't training. I noticed that, man, when I was younger in Capoeira. When I stopped training and thought I was all that in a bag of chips, you know what I'm saying? Then I would get tagged by people who were coming in, you know, who were novice, who were beginners at first. And then 3 or 4 or 5 years pass, and then all of a sudden they tagging you in the hold-up. Throwing Martelos. Martelo is a hammer kick, which is called a roundhouse in Taekwondo or whatever, right? Tagging you, wow. You be like, God damn, why am I getting tagged by these dudes who came in like 3 years later after I did? I'm not supposed to be getting tagged because, bruh, you don't train. They train. They stay training on their shit. And that's why I say other men, you know, are ruthless when it comes to competing with each other, man. And that's why you gotta stay up on your game. And then I came back. I got tired of it. Don't get me wrong, bro. I got tired of getting tagged. I was like, man, I'm getting tagged by these younger dudes. You know, they were a little bit younger. They weren't that much younger. They were like 3 or 4 years younger or whatever. Getting tagged by these younger dudes that came in like 3 years after. 3 years. Was it 3 years after? Yeah, I got it right. 3 years after me. You know. So I went back and I started training on the outside. I started running and shit the lake. You know, running the leg. I started doing more push-ups and sit-ups and squats. You got to do that on a regular basis for your body to be a weapon. Like Bruce Lee said, you must train every single part of your body. Okay? So then I went back into the holder after maybe like 3 or 4 months of just kicking my ass training, and people were giving me props. Like, ooh, Kelcat, man, you've been training, huh? Well, my Capoeira name was Microfono. Microfono, but training, look, he got extension on his kicks and everything. Even my mestre, when I came back from Brazil, man, I was a beast. Because I was down there training, bro. We talking about Brazilians train like 3 or 4 hours at a time. And after you're done, even though I'm 21 years old, I'm exhausted. Okay? You know, and even the master in Brazil was like, Microphone getting better. he was like, Microphone getting better. He came down here, he wasn't really all that, but now he all that in the bag of chips. Practice, because I stayed practicing, bro, down there when I was in Brazil. And then, like, I guess I came back to America, you know, put on a little bit of weight, lost a little bit of technique, and the mestre was like, what happened to you, Microphone? When you came back from Brazil, you had a lot of rich stuff, man, going on in your game. What happened? I'm like, because I got a job, I got to work. In Brazil, I was training every single day. You know what I'm saying? You know, I came back good, man. My kicks was on point. You know what I'm saying? I had flexibility more because they focus on flexibility down there too, a lot more. So my main point is preparing to compete with your competition, man. By putting in the work, the extra work behind the scenes. You just don't show up and just do the class. No, you practice on the outside of the class. You know what I'm saying? Practicing takedowns, practicing, you know, ground game. You know, trying to get the opponent by surprise. You know, they got this thing called passage, where you try to get behind the person. You got to train that. It focuses. You know, that's how it is. When we play low on the ground, we trying to outdo each other in Capoeira. We trying to show stuff. You know, look, I could have swept you here. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna show I could have kicked you right in the stomach with this pontetta, with the front kick, the front snap kick. Ooh, look at that, I got you. That's how you show them technique. Like, look, I'm better than you. I'm dominating this game. You feel what I'm saying? And it's nothing more embarrassing than getting swept by a motherfucker that's a lower core than you. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes you might sweep the person off their feet. Bow. I got you, bruh. Look at that. Made fun of you. The girls and stuff was watching you. Everybody saw you get swept on your butt. So that's how Capoeira was, bro. And that's how Capoeira is. It still is like that. When you enter the Roda, you better been training. Especially if you enter a Roda where you don't know who's who, or unfamiliar Roda, or somebody that might not like you and want to kick you for real. You know, don't get me wrong, in Capoeira, they'll kick you for real. You'll get kicked in the stomach, or you'll get slapped upside the head, or even punched, or with an elbow. You might get an elbow, you might catch an elbow, man. But if you've been training, you don't have to worry about none of that, because your reflexes is going to be on point. You won't be getting tagged. You only get tagged if you're not training, man. Your ass is bullshitting around with the training. You know what I'm saying? Getting tagged left and right because you ain't training. So my main point is, like, you stay with it, you stay persistent, and nobody can outshine you at all. Period. Now, I was one of the high cores in my group. One of the high cores. I got to, like, purple core, which is one of the hardest cores to get to, you know, next to brown and red. You know, so I was 2 cores away from my red core. Or maybe I can say 1, because, you know, you got the brown and then you got red. So I was at purple, and then I would have got to brown, and then I would have got to red. I told you, I just had a friend that been training Capoeira for 30 years. Finally get his fucking red cord, bro. I couldn't wait that long. I'm sorry, man. There was not enough money at the end of the fucking road for me to stick around with Capoeira and do all. Nah, I'm good, man. You know, but I'm happy for him, man. It took him 30 years to get that belt. You feel what I'm saying? He started when he was 15, and now he like 46, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just remember, bro, training, doing what you're doing, is competing with other men. You're training, you're doing extra on the side so I could get ahead. That's what Michael Jordan used to do, bro. He used to go home and shoot 100 free throws. You know what I'm saying? Outside of practice, though. He wouldn't just show up to practice and just practice and go home. Nah, he would finish practice, and on his days off, he would go and practice on his own, man. Throw up 100 free throws. That's what he used to do. 100. You know, it takes a lot to, like, be the best and compete. He didn't care about the money as much. You know, like, he cared about competing with other men. He had a competitive spirit. He wanted to win all the time. A lot of guys that would show up to practice do just enough to stay in the game or whatever. Maybe score about 8, 9, 10 points. Anyway, okay, I'm good. I did my part. You know, let me go home now. Nah, that's not how Michael Jordan was, bro. He was a competitive motherfucker, bro. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to compete. So he was always on the grind. He was like, man, I gotta compete. I'm gonna beat these motherfuckers, man. My name is Jordan. I'm gonna beat these motherfuckers and wake up every single morning just training. Waking up. That's what it took to be the best. While the other players would do just enough and get a paycheck and go home, he was out there trying to win. Yeah, nah, I want to win, nigga. Nah, fuck all that just doing enough and going home with a paycheck. Nah, I want to win. I want to compete against you. You ain't better than me. Nope, you ain't better than me. You know how we were when we was little, man? Remember when we was little, man? We was always competing with each other in baseball, basketball. If you go back to when you was a kid, when we were out there playing on the playground, right? Oh man, I got your ass, man. Ooh, he shot in your face. Ooh, and that would make you mad. And then fools would get mad when they get upset. I mean, they would get mad when they lose and shit. You know, I remember one time, man, uh, we was playing, was it baseball or something like that? Me, my homeboy Doyle, and some other fools. We was all playing baseball. Well, I don't know why I'm gonna say basketball, man. But we was all playing baseball, and somebody had struck out, and my friend Doyle was jumping up and down, hella mad. He was flopping his arms around. He had some gloves on. He was flopping them on both of his sides like a bird. I can't believe you lost, bro. I can't believe you fucking struck out. What the fuck you doing? We supposed to be winning out here. That's how fools are, bro. They're very sensitive to losing, bro. They don't like to lose. So they go out there and they make their skills perfect, man, so they can win, man. And a lot of practice, bro. You know what I'm saying? A lot of practice, man. Back in the day, remember, I know I was very sensitive to losing, bro. I hated losing. And then you would lose and you would have that knot in your throat. And that frustration knot right here. Like, this nigga done lost. What the hell is going on? I don't like to lose, man. What's up with it, Ducky? You look like the new duck. You're a new duck. Yeah, that's another duck. That's not the same duck. That's a duck I fed yesterday. Cause your head is more green, bro. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So then the losing be on your mind too, man. It affects you a lot more. So what you do is you go out there and you start sharpening your skills so you won't lose again. Yeah. Some dudes don't care whether or not they win or lose. But the dudes who care, bro, they do the best. They care about, like, winning. And winning is all they want to do. Just like, shut up, duck. You interrupted my speech. My live stream. I don't got no food for you. Sorry. You know, like I said, man, some motherfuckers, they don't care about losing. Some motherfuckers, they care about winning. And all they want to do is just win. Just like T-Pain's song. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind. I could never get enough. You feel what I'm saying? So winning is everything to some dudes, though, bro. Like, they'll practice day in, day out just so they can win. They'll train day in and day out so they can get the best of you. Because I noticed that when, like I said, when I was training capoeira and I was on my shit, they couldn't fuck with me, man. Like, goddamn, Kelcat been training, I could tell. Microphone is getting better. He can, look at him, his kicks are way faster than what they was before. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been training. I've been giving it my all, bro. So when you practice something, you give it your all, you get back what you put into it. You feel what I'm saying? And it makes you a fierce competitor, man. Not too many. Let me tell you something, bro. Because I was a capoeirista doing capoeira. Not too many motherfuckers could fuck with me in my group. There was only a few people who could fuck with me, man. It was the people who started before me. It's Jimmy and Eugene. They was the only ones who could really fuck with me, man. These two people, I ain't got no food for you, duck. You a different duck. You're not the same duck. You know what I'm saying? Not too many motherfuckers could fuck with me in my capoeira class. You better go back there and ask somebody. If you go over there and mention Microphony, oh yeah, Microphony, he was flying through the air, throwing kicks everywhere. You know, I used to fly through the air, uh, like with flips and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I was a fierce competitor in my group, because I had a high chord, and not too many motherfuckers could fuck with me. You know, but uh, I'm taking that competitive spirit that I had in my capoeira class, and I'm putting it into the real world, into the outside world. You feel what I'm saying? So you wonder why I'm so competitive and I'm so like on my grind right now? Because I got training, bro. I got martial arts. I got a martial arts background. You know, Jean-Claude Van Damme did ballet, you know, before he became famous and shit like that. So that means he was focused on something before he became famous. But then after he got a drive to go to Hollywood, he already had his ballet training. He know what it takes to get better at something and compete with other men. And finally, after years of struggling, he finally got his break. That's how it is. That's how it is. You know, because I was infatuated with Jean-Claude Van Damme's story and shit, how he struggled to get in Hollywood. You see what I'm saying? You a different duck. You don't look the same as my other duck. I think I fed that duck yesterday. You feel what I'm saying? So in my class, bro, I became a force to be reckoned with, because I was in tip-top condition shape. I had six-pack abs. Well, I still kind of got them, but six-pack abs, low percentage body fat, look like Bruce Lee, basically, bro. Like fucking just shredded. When I was in training, I was shredded, bro. You know what I'm saying? So you wonder why, like, okay, why are you so goddamn competitive? Why are you so focused on your grind? Because I got training. A lot of guys who are not competing right now, and they're just letting this time just waste away. Like they didn't have any no martial arts background. They didn't have no training. You know, they was brought up by their mother, and you can't really, your mother can't teach you how to compete in the real world. Your father can do that, not your mother. Your mother is there to baby you and nurture you and shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? The father will be like, get up, son. We going out there. We playing catch right now. Get up. It's 6 a.m. Come on. That's how your father was. That's how Joe Jackson was with the Jacksons. God damn it. He was getting them ready to compete with other R&B groups, the Jackson 5. But they stayed training. They stayed practicing in that garage of theirs. You see what I'm saying? He was in there day in and day out for years. He knew what it took, you know what I'm saying, to be number one, man. To make it. A lot of practice, a lot of training or whatever. A lot of practice. Day in, day out. Every single day, every single night. Until you cross the finish line. That's it. That's the key to success right there. Never giving up. Never giving up. Ever. Don't ever give up. As long as I'm alive, I'm going to keep on going. I ain't dead yet. I wake up in the morning. I ain't dead. Okay, it's time to get on my grind. Notice I wake up later on the weekends, man. I sleep in all the way until like, 9 o'clock? But on the weekdays, I'm up at 6 a.m., baby. I'm at Starbucks getting some coffee and shit. Peace out, 7. Peace out, man. You know what I'm saying? So I won't stop until I get my money, man. And then we can roll. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm gonna end the video, man. It's already 40 minutes. You guys have a good day. Peace out, take care, and bless. I'm out.